Where we are is in Block 14 of Luanzoya, the plant Luanzoya. Luanzoya has a design capacity of 22,000 acres on phase 1 and 2. We are currently implementing phase 1, which is a total of 10,000 acres. We are done with the intake, completely done with the intake, and diverted the river back to its original course. For the works that the intake are done, currently the contractor is doing a connection between the intake and the main canal, because when the river was diverted, it was passing around that area. So when the river was taken back to the original course, so now the contractor has to link the intake and the main canal. We've done more than 20 kilometers of the main canal and several structures that will later on now be used to carry water to the scheme. We are currently, the entire Bunyala Irrigation Scheme, we are on a pump-fed system. With the loans here, we expect that now we now be shifting from the pumps to gravity system. Gravity system ensures that now with the capacity of the river, the waters in River Nzoia, we now be having an all-round water supply, only hindered by a water scheduling program. Otherwise, the farmers will be able to crop in a systematic way because the water will be more available. And like for instance, because we are in the Western Kenya region and the power stability is never that stable, so sometimes you want to irrigate, but you can run a whole week without power. But with that, now when we shift to gravity, the issue of power now doesn't come in. And of course, the operation costs for the maintenance of the intake will be almost like not existent because now the intake is gravity. As we continue with the expansion, we've also seen an increase of private sector players coming to work with our farmers. 2 years ago, most of the activities in the farm were manual. As a pointer, it just may be basically even harvesting that you've seen. Harvesting was being done manually, and the farmers were losing like 4 to 5 bags just because of manual harvesting. So that the crop has not given is just because of the losses in the field. So as we continue to expand and the area under production increases, the labor challenges also increase. So we've seen private players come in to do the mechanization, the land preparation, most of the weeding are now doing the spraying, and we see chemical companies coming in to promote their products to the farmers. So we are encouraging our farmers to embrace technology, because as we move and we expand the area under production, labor becomes more expensive. They cannot afford it, and so we are moving from labor-based operations to mechanization. And so there are a lot of opportunities for private sector players to come in and fill in the gap that is created by the increase in the labor costs that we are experiencing over time. Most of the rice that we produce, more than 50% of that rice is milled in Uganda. As we continue expanding the capacity, again the production increases. So we've also been having, close to my office, there is a private player who is doing a private mill, the first within Busia County that is private owned rice mill. So it's a lot of opportunities that we have created because of now you're having a stable supply of raw materials and the farmers are producing. Again, we run our program on an all-year production. We don't have on-season and off-season. Because we are doing irrigation, we do an all-year production. So at every point of the year, you will be having some acreage harvesting. So that will be able now to supply raw materials to whoever comes in to do their mills, to do value chain production. So we have a number that have already shown interest and have already started working with us. We started with 133 farmers in the main scheme. Those are households, 133. We are currently working with more than 2,000 households within the 3,000 acres. So those 2,000 households keep on increasing as we continue doing the expansion. It's not a static figure. It keeps on increasing. And that tells you the impact of what we are doing with the expansion, because previously we were only affecting 133 households and their dependents. Now we are affecting 2,000 households with their dependents directly.